Well, that brings us round to Sunday again, and I've had my first church service to play for, seeing as I work as a church organist. And we didn't do it inside a church, it was in a field. I had to take an electronic keyboard, a battery and a voltage inverter, and I hate electronic keyboards because I solely play pipe organs, but needs must, and that's what had to happen. So it's now 2 o'clock-ish, and that's half the day plus gone. So it's Sierra Hotel 1 Tango set Sunday, and we do Sierra Hotel 1 Tango sets. So that's our Sierra Hotel 1 Tango mug. During the course of the week, a very kind gentleman, not a million miles from Corby, has very kindly sent a Fidelity 1000 so I could have the meter out of it. And he got this from a mate, and you know what, if that's complete, I can't scrap that for a meter, can I? So we'll see. It might be, we don't know, the board might be chopped in half, I really don't know. So we're going to open it up on the video, and if it's repairable, we'll repair it, and if it isn't, well, it'll get scrapped for that meter. Well, that's the bottom lid off, and the board doesn't look to be snapped in half, so that's good. It's even got a speaker in there, which is more than can be said for some. So it's got one of the potentiometers missing there. Screen plate's not there, but that doesn't matter. One of the snags with these is often that resistor's burnt out, and that's not the case on this one. The wiring has been removed from the high-low power switch. I haven't the foggiest what that resistor's about. I'm sure I've seen worse though. So apart from that missing, I can't really see any snag. Anyway, I'll tell you what, we'll power it up. It's got a couple of inches of wire, so we can put it to our crocodile clips that I really enjoy shorting out. It really doesn't matter an iota. Some people seem to worry that I enjoy shorting out my crocodile clip leads. Okay. Just in case it jumps into transmit on its own, I'll plug the test set in. So we've got a dummy load. Just in case it makes a racket, we'll put the speaker in. The switch isn't connected, so we don't need to look at that. Put the power supply on, and it powers up. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do, I'll borrow a mic from last week's set because I don't want to go to the time and expense of making a mic up if the set isn't recoverable. Okay, so we have audio. And I'll tell you what, we have transmit as well. Oh, but it's so screwed up on frequency. Oh, it's just that. Oh, that's weird. This is really weird. it was channel 20 that was screwed up. Let's go back to 20. Yeah, 20 is still way wrong. What I'll do, I'll put the other camera on, and then we can both see how screwed up the radio is on transmit. So on channel 20, which should be 27761, 2779125, 2747 something or other. So channel 40, which is the should be 2799125, which it is. Channel 1 should be 2760125, which it is. So then it goes haywire. So I would think that somewhere on here, we'll just pop that camera back off. I would think that somewhere on here we've got a bit of a dry joint. And the camera is in the wrong position, so we'll just move the camera. So you can see we've got a mess around there. Let's see if I can find something wrong with it. So I'll turn it off. What we're going to do, because you can see it's had a bit of wire bridge there, we put the isopropyl alcohol on it. Instead of using Mr. Chippie's toothbrush, I used the proper RS brush, which are quite expensive at £5.99 each, plus VAT. VAT to people out of the UK is sales tax, which at the moment is 20%. So this way we can move away some of the flux from previous soldering and see, hopefully, where there may be a bit of a snag, because it could be a faulty channel selector switch. So I'll pause the camera and I'll just see if I can see a break in the track or something. So when I come to look closely, it's had a deliberate cut. Remember, this is a scrap set, it's not a repair. I'm going to turn it into a repair though. And these have been deliberately cut. I mean, it was probably popular in the mid-80s when CBs could be bought for pence to try and turn them into amateur radio sets, and this might have been an easy conversion, but for what reason? Why would anyone want to convert such with a set with such dire receive performance? So that's been bridged around, and that's fair enough. But look, there's another cut just there, so we will bridge that. So I will pause the camera and I'll put a little link in. Right, so that's put a link in there. You see, you couldn't see that with the flux from other soldering and even from the manufacturing soldering. So that's why we just used the isopropyl alcohol there. So I'll switch the radio back on. We'll see whether we now have the kind of channels that we would expect. See whether channel 20 now works. It does. I'll put the other camera back to prove it. So we have 2779114, so it's slightly off frequency. So that's fine. So we'll just check it. Channel 30, yep. Channel 40, make sure that's still correct. Yep. Channel 1, 60125, yep. Channel 10, 691, yep, and would channel 19 just for a laugh. Yep, 78125. Good. So that is a start. So I'll get the service manual out and we'll just see what that's about, and we'll get rid of that camera too, and we'll see what that preset is that's missing. So it's going to be quicker than the normal sets, and this is supposed to be a scrapper. So 20 minutes later, I've put on a power lead and I've made a mic up. So what we're going to do, while that camera's on camera 3, we will set the frequency CT201, which I'll just try and zoom into to some degree. Do you know, it's gone over to news again on the radio. It always does that when I start. Sorry, it's gone over to radio from the background music. Always does whenever I start recording. So CT201 sets the frequency. So we're on channel 20, which of course previously wasn't working, and we should have 27.79125. So there we have 79113. So we'll just pop that up a fraction, and hopefully, you know, they've been changed for high quality ones, I'm sure. I don't feel I need to go through the VCO because it's transmitting on channel 1 and channel 40. So I won't put the screen plate on. It didn't come with a screen plate, but we have got one from a scrap set at one point in the past. A scrap chassis that didn't come with a meter. So we'll now go through the transmitter. So I'll pop that camera over to camera 2. And we start by trying to find some trimming tools. The first L207, L4, L5, L6, L7. So it goes down and up. Now the radio is already doing 4 watts, which is quite astonishing. So I'm not likely to be getting anything different. But just need to make sure it's absolute peak. So we've got peak on that. Peak on that. Peak on that. Peak on that. Okay, 4.4 watts, incredible. So now we move on to, without touching the volume, we move on to L8, 9 and 12. L11 is a fixed inductor and doesn't have a core. We don't want to be touching L12 because it's the 55 meg trap. So that's got some wax in it, unfortunately. So I'll skip that for now whilst the soldering iron warms up. We'll just make sure that that's peaked. And it's about there. At 4.2 watts. I just need to read the instructions here because I have to remember we're supposed to be setting it. It's a 3.5 watt radio, but we'll be setting it for 4 things it can do it. Just if it goes over, I just need to know which way we have to adjust it. It's adjusted with L9, but it doesn't tell us whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. So L9 is the set point. So we'll do it clockwise, so that it's screwing down the core, and then I'm just going to check it on channel 1, 4 watts, and channel 40, 3.8 watts. Well, that's as near as damn it, to be honest. We'll just bring that back a fraction. So there we are. I think that's pretty good. So that's set the transmit. Now we've got low power, which we didn't have before. Luckily the service manual has got a wiring diagram. There's nothing worse than having a set with the wires cut out as this was. But we do have a wiring diagram which says it's a green wire 80mm long and it goes from that point to that point. So that's been wired correctly. Do you remember that scrap chassis I showed you the other day, which was off some AM set? Well, there was a green wire in there, it's now in there. So that saved getting a roll of hookup wire out from stores. So, we've got 4 watts, we'll go and press low power and see what we have now. They're not adjustable on these radios, and it's doing 0.35. So we're on the 3 watt scale, 0.35 is there. Let's go over to deviation. So to set the deviation, I seem to recall it is the control at the back, which is just off camera. So I'll just move the camera so it's that one there. I'll just make sure I am right. It is SVR3. And let's see what the deviation is. I'll get the little oscillator out. That's clearly over the top at 2.5, so we'll pop that down a fraction. If I drop it down to 2, and then we'll do the whistle test and see where we are from there. While it's still over the top, we need to drop it down further. So we drop it down to about there. Wallow, wallow. Still capable of over deviating. So drop it down a bit further. Wallow. That's about more like where we are. So that's covered that. Now the radio needs to say that it's doing 4 watts. So we'll go back to power. And let's see what that meter says. I'll take that camera off. And when I key up, what does that say? It says it's supposed to be just at the beginning of the strawberry patch on this radio. So it's the preset which is down there. So let's set that up and that will do nicely. So that's covered the transmitter, that's all spot on now. So let's move over to the receiver. So what you're hearing there is S9, which in the UK for a CB radio is 100 microvolts. So we'll try and drop the attenuator down. That is 1 microvolt. That's 0.3 of a microvolt, so that's very good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move the camera over to the synad meter. So we're using the synad method as against the previous method as shown in the manual, which is using a sweep generator. It's much quicker, and I would think there were certainly we didn't get synad meters until the 1990s when I worked at Nottingham Radio. So I would think that most electronics workshops didn't. I know they've been available longer, but so we're tuning up on signal to noise ratio, and it certainly seems to get the best results out of these because they have a very weird detector, which, as I say, normally you would use a sweep generator for. So what we're going to do, we did one of these a fortnight ago. We're going to start with coil 1, 2 and 3, which are the front end, and then we'll take it from there. The sensitivity on this is superb. So listen to 0.3 of a microvolt. I need to make the signal less, so we'll attenuate that further till I get about 4 decibels on that synod meter, and then we'll start tuning. We'll start with L1. So I've got a fraction more there, L2. No improvement with that one, L3. Tiny little improvement there. Then we'll move on to the transformers. Transformer 2. No improvement there. Transformer 1. No improvement there. Transformer 3. This saves so much time instead of hooking up to test points and using the sweep generator and an oscilloscope. Test, that's 3. No improvement there. Then we come on to the detector. So that's out there. And that seems to be about where we are. So let's have a look at what we've now got. So for 20 decibel synod, we have, I'll move up a scale. For 20 decibel synod, we have an incredible 0.72 of a microvolt, and then for 12 decibel synod, which is another meaningful figure, we have 0.25 of a microvolt. For 10 decibel synod, we have 0.21 of a microvolt. So that's superb. Because we know these are bleedover boxes. That's not the point. Right, so the next thing I need to do is to set that S meter. So let's put that onto an S9 signal, which is 100 microvolts. So say for the UK, we'll pop that camera off. And I want that meter to read S9. Well, it reads plus something. So I need to drop that down a fraction. And it's the lower preset here, SVR2, just there, the lower one of the two, as in nearer me. So that needs to pop that. Well, it doesn't go any further down, and that's because they've set the S meter to be about 10 microvolts for S9, which is cheating. It's kind of, look, our radio is more sensitive than yours. It's not the way to do it, but that's how it is, and I'm not altering it from that. So that leaves us now with the squelch. So we'll turn the signal generator off and set the squelch threshold. So switch the signal generator on, and it's coming in at 1 microvolt. So now we're going to switch the squelch to full, and we'll see at what point it now comes in. So 10 decibels, sorry, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts, which is where I want it to come in. 300 microvolts, 1 millivolt, 3 millivolts, 10. It's never coming in, is it? No, it's absolutely stupid. So it's so insensitive. I will adjust that till I can hear it come in. And that's SVR1. So I'll turn the attenuator on the signal generator to 100 microvolts. you know, that's exactly right. That's exactly where we want it. It's coming in at 100 microvolts. So now we'll turn it back to threshold and switch the signal generator output off. So that's threshold, switch the signal generator back on. It's just coming in at 0.3, just audible. So that's sorted that out. That's fantastic. Well, you know what? That's all there is to it. But what we're going to do is going to run the case parts through the dishwasher. You know, it's been deemed to be a scrap set, and I'm sure it could do with a bit of TLC on the casework. So, having said that, I mean, I've seen a lot worse than this. So we'll pop the speaker out. Yeah, don't put them in the dishwasher with the speaker in, and we'll join the video in about 40 minutes when that is finished. Okay, so I've put it on the aerial. Just had the front panel through the dishwasher, and that looks all right. 19 a Roger. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Well, that's the first time, isn't it? We've now fitted the screening can, which is we recovered off that scrap chassis we had, and the board has been defluxed, so it looks considerably neater, because I think the audio IC had been changed at some time, and all it's soldered fine, but there's just so much flux which was lurking. So yeah, that's very satisfactory. I'll put the lids on it. Right, so there we are. It's all back together. It's not. I've not resprayed it. It's cleaned up quite nicely, really, and it's all ready for us to do. That sounds like Peanut.
It is, good afternoon.
Yes, it's Tango 21 here. I'm just recording my Sierra Hotel 1 Tango set. Would you like to go to 31 over?
What up?
Tango 21, Peanut.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, we're on the Sierra Hotel 1 Tango's set. I'm just doing the final bit of our recording. This isn't the on-the-air test, this is just the final bit of the recording. And today it's another Fidelity 1000.
Oh dear.
But of course they transmit beautifully, and this one managed to do 4.2 watts. I actually had to turn it down.
And is it wide-banded? Are we transmitting on more than one channel today, or is it just on the one?
We transmit, well, it was a bit wide, but I'm transmitting now. It's all been sorted out on the one channel, though it's probably receiving on all 40 at once.
Not much of a test, I appreciate, but you are crystal clear to me. Very nice modulation. And a signal 8 on the Radio Shack TRC 1015 handheld.
Well, that's excellent. And are you on holiday? Is it just, are you off tomorrow, over?
That is correct, so we'll be heading away about midday, I should think.
Okay, that's fine. Right, well, I'll conclude my video, and once again, you'll be the star.
Excellent, look forward to it.
Okay, 10-10 Peanut. Oh, well, that was unexpected. There he was having a holiday at the campsite next door, and we had a quick eyeball yesterday, and there I was. He responded to my 19, and incredible. So we've got a Fidelity 1000, which works, and we'll have it on the air later on. Watching.